where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Haslab review. This one I've been looking forward to since we did Victory Saber. Today's review is the Transformers Legacy Evolution Haslab Deathsaurus. Now, this is another awesome box set, much like they did with Victory Saber. He also comes with some pack-in figures. He comes with Eagle Chest, I believe is what the bird's name is, and Beast Chest, which I believe is what his lion-ish creature is. I honestly don't know what his other breast animal is supposed to be. I mean, it's obviously some kind of cat, but it doesn't quite have a mane like a lion. And I mean, it kind of has the body of a lion, just with the weird wings because of Deathsaurus' chest mode. So, I don't know. It's always been a strange beast mode to me. But I love this box art. So, this is the box art done by Transformers artist Guido Guidi, who is a very prolific and famous Transformers artist. A huge career in Transformers comics, especially with IDW. Guido did a lot of very popular Transformers art and continues to do so. I absolutely love the art on this box. I will say, as nice as this is, I'm a little disappointed in the packaging in the sense that it doesn't have the whole outer sleeve like Victory Saber did. I really liked the reversible sleeve with Victory Saber, and I love that we got both the new artwork box, like this right here, and the original Japanese style packaging as well. I love that we got both with Victory Saber, so I'm a little bummed we didn't get that with Deathsaurus this time. However, the box is gorgeous. The art is fantastic. I will also say we didn't get a print of the artwork that's on this box. We got the box, which is nice, but we didn't get a print of the artwork much like we did with the Victory Saber. If you remember, we had this cardboard insert print that came with Victory Saber, but not one that came with Deathsaurus. So that's another kind of a shame because we got it with the last one. We didn't get it with this one. So it would have been nice to also have a separate art print to display in addition to this lovely box here. You have Transformers in nice metallic purple there on the side. On the back, you've got some product shots of Deathsaurus. So there he is on his throne. The Beast Chest is in his chest compartment. Eagle Chest is up here sitting at the top of the throne. There he is using Beast Chest as his bow, because he has a bow mode, which is really cool. There he is on his stand with his shield and his sword. And then there he is in his Griffin mode. And that's... oh, almost forgot this side. This side shows off his accessories in closer, nicer detail. We've got Beast Chest right here. We've got the flail right here. Eagle Chest, the living metal cannon, and Beast Chest in his bow mode. So there's his companions and some of his weapons. And now that's pretty much it for the packaging. Real quick, before we get to Deathsaurus himself, I know usually I jump right to it, but he's so large, I wanted to just do the close-up shots first and cover the little guys, and then get right to Deathsaurus, who is, once again, nice and big. So, real quick, first up, here is Beast Chest. So, this is Beast Chest in his chest mode, as you can see. His head just kind of hangs down here. His legs are all just kind of folded up right here, all nice and neat, nice and straight out. He plugs right onto Deathsaurus' chest. So, regardless if Eagle Chest is in there or not, he just fits there right on the end, which looks really nice. The other really cool thing about Beast Chest is his crests, or his wings, the crest for when he's in chest mode, wings for when he's in his beast mode, I suppose, are vac metal. So these come packed separately. They just peg right on here to these little bits right there. But these are vac metal, which is really, really nice. I love this so much. This is so nice. And the crest on, oh, there we go, on Deathsaurus's head, right there in the middle, is also vac metal. So that was very nice. I really, really like the vac metal bits. Honestly, my one complaint about the vac metal bits is there isn't more of them. Now, I know that would have gotten to be a little bit much because he's got a lot of gold bits on him. But, I mean, the legs in vac metal, the hilt of the sword, the kneecaps, the beak of the griffin mode, and the rest of beast chest here, the chain, the hilt on the flail, the arrow for when he is in his arrow mode, which I'll show here in a moment. It would have been nice if all of that was in vac metal, but I am grateful that this is in vac metal because it looks so good. It's so eye-catching too. It's awesome. All right, real quick for his bow mode. And starting with his bow mode is going to help us get to his beast mode also. What we're going to do is we're going to grab these wings right here. We're going to pull on them out like so. So there's this little rail right here. And they just pull out to the side. And then you want to just kind of extend the head like so. Extend this little bit out and this little bit out. The head is going to peg in to this little piece right here. And then you're going to hold him much like this. You're going to take your Deathsaurus here. You're going to push him out like so. And then these two little tabs are going to fit right here near his hand. So what you do is you just take this, plug that in right there like so. So it should look something like that. Take the sword out of his hand. And what's cool about how the weapons he holds in his hand lock into place, you've got these rectangular pegs on either side of the handles. It's on the flail, it's on the sword, it's on the grip for the shield, which either can plug onto his right shoulder or you can have it wielded by hand with this. And on the grip of the living metal cannon as well, it also has those little rectangular pegs. Also, Deathsaurus can hold his accessories better. And the handle of Eagle Chest for when he's in his little handheld blaster mode also does it. And then, now that we've shown all that stuff with the weapons, take the arrow. There's this other little tab right here on his back, or panel rather. Unfold that. That's going to reveal this little rectangular little peg hole. And then take your arrow, this little rectangular peg, which is also used for other storage for the arrow, pegs right there onto the back of Beast Chest. So repeg your Beast Chest like right there where you put it on his arm. Here we go. And then just pose your Deathsaurus accordingly. There you go. Where he is getting ready to fire an arrow at whichever enemy happens to be standing in his path, most likely Star Saber or Victory Saber. I really love that they included the bow mode for Beast Chest on here because it just looks so cool as a bow. I just love the overall shape of it. And the arrow looks good too. Alright, now that we've had Beast Chest in his bow and arrow mode, what we're going to do is we're going to take that arrow off and just set it to the side. Come over here to the bottom, untab that little section, tab that little section back where it was, grab these little legs, rotate the hind legs all the way back. So just bring them up, rotate them all the way to the back, unfold his front legs, pull on this neck section until it's extended all the way, and then on this hinge, just bring it back a little bit. You can close this panel back up because we won't need it, and then open it from the back, and inside is his tail. So just unfold his tail, bring that panel back down. Now he has his little tail out. Bring up his wings, and then just squeeze those back into place. And there is Beast Chest in his little beast mode, and he is fully articulated. So aside from his wings articulating, he has shoulder joints on a ball joint for his front legs and single jointed knees for his front legs. For his hind legs, he has a forward and back joint on his hips, forward and back on the knees, up and down at the base of the butt for the tail, and then up and down in the middle for the tail as well. Head is on a ball joint. The jaw does open and close. So Beast Chest is very well fully articulated, has all of his modes as appears in the Transformers Victory cartoon, and he's an awesome little bot. Next up, Deathsaurus has a bird chest companion of his own, and his name is Eagle Chest. So here is Eagle Chest. Nice little Decepticon symbol right there. Eagle Chest looks more like a cassette than a breast-forced animal, because he's actually rectangular and fits all the way in Deathsaurus' chest compartment, whereas Beast Chest and the rest of the breast force animals just become the chest piece itself, or the main chest piece for the breast force Decepticon that, well, whoever's facing who at the time. So Eagle Chest is the most unique amongst the breast force animals because he fully converts into, well, not really a cassette, more like a block here, and fits all the way into Deathsaurus' chest. And that's what also made Deathsaurus stand out amongst the breast force, aside from being their leader, is he had 2 breast force animals, whereas the rest of the breast force each only had the 1. So here is Eagle Chest in his little block mode. What we're going to do is we're going to untab this little bit, which is also the handle for his little blaster mode. In fact, we'll go ahead and do that first, much like we did with Beast Chest. Unfold these little wing sections down here, and then right here underneath there are 2 little blasters there, and then just fold those wings right back down. Next, take your Deathsaurus here, grab either hand you want to put Eagle Chest in, and just like the rest of the weapons, just roll it in, get that little rectangular tab in place, and there is Eagle Chest in his little weapon mode. And now that we've had Eagle Chest in weapon mode, now we'll just go ahead and do the rest of his bird mode. So fold out his wings, except this time fully extend them, and then right here the tips of the wings rotate out from the side like so. Over here on his back, his tail feathers unfold from right there. His neck unfolds from right here. And then his legs unfold from right there. Go ahead and fold that blaster mode handle in there. We won't need them anymore. And technically you're supposed to fold his blasters back in, and he's supposed to look much like this, but honestly, I kind of like the blasters out. I think he looks really, really cool with the blasters out. And why not? Why not have the blasters out? He needs his little blasters. We always need our little Decepticon bird companions to have blasters. Laserbeak has them. Buzzsaw has them. Ratbat's not a bird, but he has them. And Eagle Chest needs them too. Eagle Chest is also very articulated in his robot mode. Neck goes up and down on this back hinge, and then the neck joint itself also goes forward and back on its hinge joint. The beak does open and close. The head does turn side to side on that upper neck joint. The blasters fold in and out. Wings go up and down, both on the first joint and in this middle joint, and then side to side on that last one. Hips are on a little ball joint for the legs. The ankles go forward and back, and that's pretty much it for ankle articulation. And then he can move his tail feathers up and down as well. And there you have Eagle Chest in his beast mode. And then to put your breast animals inside of Deathsaurus' chest, the chest piece itself is spring-loaded, so it collapses up when you put the breast force animals in. So you can take your Eagle Chest here, you put him in first, and then he'll sit right there. He can sit right there at the edge in case you just want to have him in his chest and have Beast Chest out, or you can push him back further with Beast Chest, locking them both into place right there on Deathsaurus' chest. And he looks so awesome with them both on there. Next up, we have the little pack-in mini bots that came from the little Micromaster rescue team led by Holly. So we got Holly and Fire with Victory Saber. And as a pack-in bonus special thank you for reaching all the tier unlocks for Deathsaurus, Hasbro at the end of the campaign announced that they were including Pipo or Pipo and Boater, the other two members of the rescue patrol team of the Micromaster Rescue Patrol team. So we got the first two with the first Haslab, and they included the second two with the second Haslab. So now we have the full Rescue Patrol team as well. So here is Pipo, or Pipo, whatever you want to call him, which I love, by the way. I love this little guy. He's a little ambulance. He looks awesome. That head sculpt looks really good. And Pipo and Boater are brand new figures, while Holly and Fire were repaints of pre-existing figures from the Siege toy line, which, I mean, makes sense because the figures from Victory back in the day were also repaints of existing Micromasters, because Victory heavily used the Micromasters back when that show was airing. But we got all new molds for Pipo and Boater because these two figures were not previously released in the Siege toy line. But Pipo, like I said, looks really good. And the other thing I love about Pipo is his name is the Japanese onomatopoeia for wee woo. The sound the siren makes for the ambulance is his name. I love that. That is such an awesome little detail about this character. He has decent articulation. Shoulders are on a ball joint, up and down for the shoulder joint. Nothing at the waist. Hips are at a ball joint, single jointed knees. Feet can go forward and back due to transformation. And that's pretty much it for articulation. Transformation is very simple into his ambulance mode. First, you're going to peg these legs together. Then you're going to flip the feet all the way around. Bring the arms up and tab them into place. And then fold the feet in. And there is Pipo in his little ambulance mode. He's nice and pretty much fully painted all the way around. I mean, they could have painted in some of the little light details a little bit there on the front, but all of the windows are painted, which is nice. His little flashing light bar is painted in, which is nice. So overall, not a bad little Micromaster. Next up here is Boater. Boater's probably my favorite. I love this little boat. He's always looked really cool. I've loved his color scheme. I like that bright baby blue color that he is. He's got shoulder articulation as well on a ball joint, up and down on those shoulder joints. Hips are on a ball joint, knees are on a ball joint. The heel can go up and down due to transformation. The head can swivel from side to side. And that's pretty much for his robot mode also. Transformation's pretty much just like Pipo actually. Tab those legs together right there. Fold out those heels. Bring up those shoulders. Tab those arms into place. Bring up the top of the boat. Fold over the legs, and there is Boater in his little micro boat mode. And real quick for comparison, here is the full rescue team and their alt modes, which looks pretty cool. So we have a police car, a boat, an ambulance, and a fire truck. And that's the full rescue patrol. All right, and here he is out of the box, nice and large as you can see. Here is Deathsaurus. He looks so awesome in his robot mode. He's nice and tall, especially in the legs. I mean, he's got some long legs. But this is also the most G1 accurate Deathsaurus to date, and the best articulated Deathsaurus to date, at least in my opinion. So, very nice looking. He's got his bird head backpack, his big wings hanging out to the side. He is fully articulated. These wings go in and out. They flap. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders in and out. All the way around there. Upper bicep. Single jointed elbows, wrist joints. His fingers, these two fingers articulate together. These two fingers articulate together on both hands. Waist, hips, nice ratcheting on those hip joints as well. These panels are on hinges. At first, I thought it was like a soft rubbery plastic when I pulled it out of the box. And then when I went to articulate it, it just moved on its own. I was like, oh, that's a panel. Okay, well, that looks really good. Upper thigh, single jointed knees, side to side ankles, forward and back on the heel, mostly due to transformation. And when you do that, then you can move the foot forward and back. And that is pretty much for his articulation while he's in robot mode. As we've seen earlier, we had his sword in his hand, which looks pretty awesome. We had his shield out. Now, like I said, he can hold his shield in his hand. So what you do is you take your little handle here and just ease that into where it plugs in. There we go, in the back of the hand. And then you can just plug that shield right back on there. He also has his awesome flail. I love that they went with chain goods on his flail here. So he's got the nice gold chain. Awesome spiked flail. I love the magenta handle here. That's very nice. Or maybe that's more of a burgundy. Regardless, I do like the color of it. I think that's more of a burgundy actually, now that I say it out loud. And for that, you also just, same place as the others, find that rectangular peg hole, roll that into place, close his hand, and now he's got his flail. And he's ready to swing it at Starsaber and any other enemies he might have. And now, for my favorite weapon that he comes with, here we have the living metal cannon. This thing is so cool. It's just this big, awesome shoulder-mounted cannon that he can use in either his robot mode or his griffin mode. Aside from it being able to fold up and collapse and store, it's got these cool little articulated fingers that also have talons on them, which look really cool. But you can take it, put it in his arm right here, bring that over into his hand, and then these two tabs tab into the shoulder panel here, because he gets like all hooked up to this thing when he combines to it. And I wish it had some more of the little connective bits, but regardless, it still looks really cool. And I just like how it just, not only he holds it, but it just plugs into the shoulder for extra stability, which is really nice and looks really good. And now Deathsaurus is ready to take out Jinrai, who will then become Victory Leo. And then real quick, for his shield, you can also store on his shoulder, like in the show. So on his right shoulder only, he has this little peg that folds out on this panel. And then just take that and just plug that in right there. And there's his shield on his shoulder. I always thought it was kind of interesting that he wielded his shield on his right shoulder pretty much exclusively, while also pretty much predominantly wielding his weapon in his right hand, which that's kind of interesting. Usually your shield hand is your opposite of your dominant weapon using hand. That way you can properly defend and parry and stuff. But it is what it is, I guess. It's still really cool regardless. And real quick for comparison, here is Deathsaurus next to just Starsaber. I didn't think we needed to do Starsaber, Saber, and, you know, the Brain Master of Courage or whatever next to Deathsaurus. But I definitely wanted to show off Deathsaurus and Starsaber side by side in their robot modes so you can see how much larger Deathsaurus is to Starsaber, because he is very impressively large. And also for comparison, here is Deathsaurus next to Victory Saber. And they're at much more equal footing and equal height when Starsaber is in his Victory Saber mode combined with Victory Leo. I mean, Victory Leo turns into a backpack and platform shoes for Starsaber, so he gives him a pretty good height boost, but it is really cool to see them side by side, and I love how much Victory Leo leveled the playing field for Starsaber against Deathsaurus and Transformers Victory. And it's so satisfying. It is so satisfying as a Transformers fan, as someone who's watched through all of Victory and gotten to experience these characters, to have really good, fully articulated versions of them side by side like this. Thank you, Hasbro. This is awesome. Both of these pieces are awesome, and honestly, I'm very excited for whatever the 40th anniversary Haslab Transformers project is going to be. 2024 is already off to a great start with Legacy United and the first wave of Studio Series and some of the other rumors of figures and the recently revealed Tidal Wave, which, I don't need to go too much into Tidal Wave, but if you've seen the images of Tidal Wave, and he has been officially revealed now, if you've seen the images of Tidal Wave, I couldn't be happier. Me personally, I know some fans wanted him to be a bit smaller. I know some of us wanted him to be pretty much as big as he is, and I'm happy he is as big as he is, but I'm also happy that it appears they incorporated both his massive size, as he's supposed to be, like he was in Armada, but also have little pieces that come off of him or come out of him in various places in his components to combine with the Legacy Evolution Megatron that we got this year in 2023. So we'll still have Megatron combined with Tidal Wave like we did in the original Armada cartoon. And the images of the combination look good. Tidal Wave looks good in all of his modes. So yeah, 2024 for Transformers fans is already off to a really great start. And it hasn't even started yet, which is so crazy to me. Oh, and then not to mention, we already know what next year's Commander class is, which looks like it'll be out significantly earlier than normal, because usually Commander class hit around August, September in the year, at least here in the United States. Next year, right now, pre-orders are scheduled for July. My money, it's either going to be out in May or June. Mark my words. But I'd be willing to bet money that Magmatron will be out in either May or June. But July is already ahead of what we're already accustomed to, at least by a month. But usually when you're seeing Transformer pre-orders, when you're eyeballing those from Hasbro, whether you're pre-ordering on Amazon, Hasbro Pulse, it's usually safe at this point to plan for a month, month and a half-ish ahead of whatever the pre-order date says at this point. Deathsaurus' transformation is pretty simple, but also looks pretty cool once you get him into his Griffin mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by removing his tail right here. We'll go ahead and collapse it because the next step would be to remove the handle if we had the handle on it. So just close that together, peg that right there in the middle, and there is his tail all done. Next up, we don't need to mess with his chest area at all really, aside from just turning these forward like so. Then we're going to grab his little neck section right here, open this panel up, bring this all the way up. That's going to tab into place like so, and then just close that panel back down. Bring the head back up like so. Come over here to his back, which is now his chest. Untab this little section and bring it down. And then there's this little hinge. Rotate that around and bring this back up in the middle. Do the same thing over here. Bring that around. Bring this back up in the middle. And there is the chest of his Griffin mode pretty much all done. Next, what we're going to do is bring these wings in, untab these arms, rotate this section all the way around on this lower joint like so. Get those kind of off to the side like that. Close those fingers. Untab these little panels right here. Bring this in at about a 90-degree angle from where it was, and then rotate this forward and rotate this up. Leave these other tabs exposed, collapse that back into place. On this little ankle joint, just angle your bird leg, split the toes, and rotate that shoulder down on that side, and then just kind of start positioning the leg to where you want it. And then we're going to leave that one alone. Do the same thing over here. Close those fingers. Open that panel. 45. Bring that up. Bring that down. Lock into place. Split the toes. Rotate that all the way around. Click in those shoulder joints so his legs are only going forward and back. Now, you can have them out if you want, but it's just more secure in his Griffin mode if you leave it like that. Next, on these little wings here, untab the wing from this section right here, bring it all the way back, and tab it in right there. Then we can flip out the Griffin mode arm, tab that shoulder section into place, unfold the arm, do the same thing over here, bring that back, bring that out, fold that out, and there's his little T-Rex Griffin mode arms and his wings to the back where they're supposed to be, like so. Now, for the robot mode legs to collapse all the way down, what we do is there is a panel on the inside of the leg here, just above the ankle. Untab that, which allows you to fold this up and fold that in. Untab that last panel. We're going to close it after we're done. Fold in the heel, come over to the knee, untab the knee from this section, bring this all the way up like so, and then you're going to bring it at an angle enough to where you can close this panel back up and then just bring that section back down. Do the same thing over here. Open this little side panel, open this back panel, open that panel, close that, untab that knee, bring that up, close that into place, and then take these shoulder joints. This little section is going to tab in right there, so just tab that in, you'll hear them click into place, Adjust those. Bring those legs up. And then we take the tail, bring down those little kneecap sections. These little bits are going to get locked into place right there. But first, you take this, plug it straight in like so, and there's these little grooves to help you slide that into place. And then take those kneecap sections and lock the tail into place at the bottom, which will fully secure it. And then just adjust the pose of your Deathsaurus how you like it. And there he is in his Griffin mode, or big space chicken mode as some fans like to call it. And even in this mode, he can interact with some of his weapons, more specifically the living metal cannon here. So what you do is there's a little tab right here. There's a little slot right there. You're going to take this over his shoulder, tab that in right there like so. There we go. I almost didn't want to go into place. It almost also kind of sounded like I was about to break it. And there he has his living metal cannon in his Griffin mode. Also, real quick, I should probably cover the bluish effects he comes with. So he comes with the same bluish effects as Victory Saber did, except they're cast in this translucent purple. Looks more like a magenta, really, once it's finished. But you've got two of these little short, wide explosion, or bluishes. This little medium-sized, cone-shaped bluish. And then this long, pointed, thin bluish. So you get this big blast once you put them all together. Exactly the same as the ones that came with Victory Saber, like I said, except in this color this time, which, no complaints there. I don't feel like they needed to invent all new bluishes just for Deathsaurus here, but I do appreciate that they used a good set of bluishes, and he is bluish compatible on his weapons. There is a bluish port in the mouth of his Griffin mode. You can even plug a bluish on the back of his living metal cannon, so it's like it's sucking in energy or intaking energy or maybe venting energy as it's firing out the front too, which is also really cool. And then, of course, you can put bluishes on Eagle Chest in his little blaster mode. And just overall, with the blast effects, you can get some really cool displays out of this guy. Much like Victory Saber, Deathsaurus also came with a display stand. So here we have the base of the stand. And the reason I don't have anything on it right now is because this is also the display stand for his throne, which I love the throne. I'm very likely just going to be displaying him on his throne because it's just too cool not to, honestly. But just like with Victory Saber, he comes with the same style flight stand, so you can do it vertical like so, and you can peg this onto the back of his waist for his robot mode, so you can pose him flying in robot mode, or you can put it at the longer one on the bottom, take this little adapter here, plug that on right there, and then this will plug right onto his little waist section right here in the middle, and then you can display him in flight in his, here it's probably easier if I take off this cannon that's in the way, in flight in his little Griffin mode here, which also looks really great. And real quick for comparison, here is Deathsaurus in his Griffin mode next to Starsaber in his V-Star Jet mode on their flight stands. So you can see the two of them side by side. And it's also worth mentioning that their stands are very, very different. Honestly, I thought that the flight stand bits on the two, at least the necks of them, or support beam, whatever you want to call it, were the same before I put them side by side. They're actually completely different, but look really cool side by side. It really doesn't matter which mode you're displaying them in. They look great side by side. They are very much companion pieces, and I hope that those who backed Victory Saber didn't miss out on Deathsaurus, and vice versa, because honestly, neither are complete without the other, regardless of how you're displaying them. And last but not least, here is Deathsaurus next to the Victory Saber version of the V-Star Jet. So you can see them side by side in their alt modes. And yeah, just like with robot mode, Victory Leo gives Victory Saber just that little bit more, just enough to be more size comparable to Deathsaurus in his alt mode. So overall, even better in the full combination mode and alt mode with them side by side. I really am at a loss as to how I should display them at this point. Now I'm wondering, do I need to get another pair? Do I need to track down and hunt another pair, since I only backed one of each, to display them both ways, just because of how awesome they look in every single mode? Hasbro absolutely nailed both of these sets, and they did it very, very well. Last but not least, displaying Deathsaurus on his throne. So you'll notice he's already back in robot mode. I went ahead and took the liberty of removing his breast force animals, because we're going to display those with him on the throne as well, not necessarily in his chest compartment. So what we're going to do is, first thing, we're going to set Deathsaurus aside. We're going to grab that base once again. Make sure you take off your little flight stand piece, because you can't have the throne and the flight stand piece on it at the same time. Next, you're going to take the throne here, which is nice and big. I love this weird, goopy, lumpy looking throne with the talons sticking out. Very dragon-esque, I would say, with the nice big Decepticon symbol there on the front. Take this, just pegs in right there towards the back of the throne. Next, before we put Deathsaurus on that throne, we're going to take his weapons and store them on the back. So what you're going to do, take his living metal cannon here, go ahead and flip that out, fold it in half, and it fits right here. There's one little peg hole right here. Just peg that on. It'll fit right there in that groove pretty much perfectly. Next, take his scimitar here, and there is a specific little shape on this side of the hilt alone that's going to peg on right here, like so. And then you're going to take his arrow with those two little pegs. That's going to peg on right here and here. So there's the arrow tucked on the back of the throne. And then you're going to take his shield, and that's going to peg on right here in the center, with it flared back to the back like so. And then you can take his little hilt here, that plugs on right there on the back of the Decepticon crest. And you're probably wondering, well, where does the flail go? Well, the flail can go in a couple of places. It can go either right back here and then just kind of dangle off the back of the throne here, or you can store it in Deathsaurus' backpack that you have right here. Personally, I just like to put it here with all the other weapons. That way you have all of his weapons displayed in the same place, which in my opinion is very, very satisfying to look at. Now that we have all of our weapons on our throne, take your Deathsaurus here, bring his legs all the way out, straight out, so we can get him in that seated position. Untab the kneecaps so we can bend the knees where we need them to where he'll actually set up, and then just put his kneecaps back up in his robot mode. Bend this arm forward, bend that arm forward, and then these little spikes here on the back of his head for his beast mode are going to fit right in this little groove on the inside of the throne. And then there's two little notches right here. You want to kind of get these right in between those two notches so he'll sit properly in his seated position. And once you slide him back, just make those little adjustments here and there with his poses. So that he displays to your preference on his throne. And once again, you can have the breast force animals in, and he looks great on his throne with his breast force animals in, especially with beast chest. I mean, if you're going to have one in, have beast chest in, because there's two little pegs right here, and that's where eagle chest goes. So, and then you get him in his eagle mode and just peg him on right there. He's got two little peg holes right on the bottom of his feet, specifically for this spot on Deathsaurus' throne. Get him posed how you like. And you can have eagle chest on Deathsaurus' throne like this, and beast chest like this. Or you can display beast chest down here. Personally, I like to display beast chest. I like to kind of make it to where beast chest is sitting on Deathsaurus' lap like his own personal cat. He's the evil mastermind in his lair, and he's got his pet cat right here on his lap. He's got his bird companion over his shoulder, and he is sitting prominently on his throne. And in all honesty, I think this is exactly how I'm going to be displaying mine in my collection, because I just love how this looks so much. Also, this is kind of how he spends the majority of the series, sitting on his throne while his Decepticons are out fighting his battles, trying to steal energy or whatever else they're doing for his big, awesome fortress that Starsaber threw to the void. So, really awesome character, really awesome figure, displays beautifully. I mean, I'm so glad we made it to all the tier unlocks, and especially to the throne, just because he looks so great with absolutely everything here. I mean, the only thing not on display right now are the Bloosh effects, and that's it. That's the only thing not on display, which we can also change. I mean, we could flip up his little blasters and have him going pew pew up in the air, and maybe pull out one of the other weapons and have some bigger pew pews going. But regardless, the fact that you can pretty much display everything all at once like this is really awesome. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's review featuring the new Transformers Legacy Evolution Haslab Deathsaurus figure. Hasbro, thank you once again for putting the time and effort to bring us another really awesome Haslab project. Like I said, it is so amazing to actually have both Deathsaurus and Starsaber together to display, because they are such awesome companion pieces. I mean, they are great on their own. They really are. But, like I said earlier, in my opinion, one is really not complete without the other. And fingers crossed, we get a proper Leo Kaiser soon. And also, hopefully, Hasbro is announcing the long-awaited Dino King. I mean, Dino King is going to be small, but I still want Dino King. So hopefully, we really are getting a Dino King announced soon, based off of the core class Volcanicus that we just recently completed. If you haven't, go back and watch that video. It's a pretty cool video. I want a nice updated Leo Kaiser, a Death Cobra to go with Leo Kaiser. Like, on the side would also be very cool. Just saying, we've never had an official Death Cobra figure ever, and that would be really awesome and really nice. But also, I would really like the rest of the Brainmasters to go with Starsaber as well, because those guys would be really great. Nice new updates to the Brainmasters, I think, would be a very welcome addition. But what's something from Transformers Victory you hope to see in a future Transformers Generations line, whether it's Legacy or something else, whatever they decide to change the name to after Legacy United, unless they want to keep up with the Legacy title, which fine by me. I like the Legacy title. So far, Legacy has been one of the best lines in Transformers history, at least in my opinion. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the Haslab so far. Unicron was great. Starsaber was great. Deathsaurus is great. I'm very not so patiently, excitedly waiting for the announcement as to whatever the 40th anniversary Haslab is going to be that Hasbro teased, I think, when they announced Deathsaurus, or when Deathsaurus got fully backed. I think that's around when they teased that they're going to do one for the 40th anniversary. And from what I've heard, I haven't heard what it's going to be. I haven't heard what series it's going to be from. I mean, it can be assumed it's probably going to be something Generation 1 related, right? Being the 40th anniversary of Transformers. But I've heard that fans are going to be pleasantly surprised as to what it is in a good way. So, with that, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it. 3 back-to-back awesome Haslabs for Transformers so far. Let's get it with number 4. I'm ready for whatever it is. Check out CoolToyReview.com for all kinds of awesome toy-related news, videos, and more. Like and subscribe to the Cool Toy Review YouTube channel and Bay 12 YouTube channel for all kinds of awesome toy-related video content, reviews like this. And a lot of my Transformers content is on the Bay 12 YouTube channel. Some of it's on the CoolToyReview.com YouTube channel, but check out for more awesome Transformer reviews, including my Victory Saber review on the Bay 12 YouTube channel, where you're probably watching this video or you're watching it on Cool Toy Review. One of the two. If you like Star Wars content, check out Rebelscum.com, the world's oldest and largest Star Wars fan website not owned by Disney. Rebelscum has been making Star Wars fan content with toys and other Star Wars collectibles for about 30 years now, and doesn't show any signs of stopping anytime soon. Both myself and Nick contribute a lot of awesome content to Rebelscum.com, so check it out, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for all of that Star Wars news that they post all the time. Rebelscum.com is also putting on the first official Rebelscum Con, a Star Wars fan convention that has been long in the making. It'll be next summer, June 27th through the 30th. And for more details and to book your experience today, go to Rebelscum Conventions with an S, rebelscumconventions.com today to get your tickets, your VIP passes, whatever you need. Check out all the awesome guests that are on there and soon to be announced, and guests will be announced intermittently, as well as other experiences and events. And if you book your hotel through rebelscumconventions.com, you'll get a special discounted rate as well as free parking at the venue for the weekend. So make sure you take advantage of that too for those of you who are out of town. Last but not least, Check out collectorsoracle.com, our free archival website. It has mostly Star Wars collectibles on there for right now, but we are in negotiations with other toy companies to add other brands in the future, and it's all absolutely free. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.